From the Ugly Parrot Studios in Newcastle, California, the Limb Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey, welcome back for episode 105. Scott Robinson with you for another episode of Beyond the Humidor. Just going to go around the table. Greg did not interrupt me this time, so kudos to Greg. Let's start off with the gorilla and his gorilla enclosure. Gorilla, how you doing?
That's because the gorilla threatened Greg off camera. I love you, Greg.
You're not terrifying.
Okay. Gorilla is good. Not a whole lot going on the last week or so, other than minor remodeling and repainting at the domicile. But that's,
it's an ongoing project.
The paint color does look good, though. I forgot to tell you that. It does, I like it, but yeah, not a whole lot going on.
Your happiness is my only concern.
God bless you.
Hey, Lawrence, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Getting the week started off. As a gorilla.
Oh, please. The first time I ever fucking do it to any of you, relax.
Hey, Greg, how you doing there?
Doing okay. The work week has begun. The end of the week's going to be fun. I'm going to Idaho again, getting out of the state for a few days. There's a Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust event up at the Vault, so going to go see what that's all about.
You want to tell the good people where the Vault is?
The Vault, in case, if you're loyal listeners to the podcast, you already know it's in Meridian, Idaho, but it's in Meridian, Idaho.
Well, way to shame the new listener. Give the new listener a chance.
For all you newbies, welcome. We're assholes here.
And hey, in case you were feeling good about yourself, the Camera Girl would just like to remind you, as of hearing this, it's 14 days till Christmas. Panic. You haven't bought everything yet. Panic, panic, panic. Just wanted to remind you.
That's pretty good.
How about you, Mr. Robinson?
Hey, I'm good. Start of another week 2 of employment. It's wonderful.
Hooray!
Amen to that. I like living in non-cardboard box-like domiciles, so...
You know, it's funny you say that. Larry and I were just looking at a refrigerator box and how to equip it with a chimney for you.
We sounds like a whole lot of fucking
That's one hell of a fucking refrigerator that came in that box.
Shit.
It's industrial.
Yeah.
Wow. And I will just say, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you out here.
Heathen.
Hey, and for the record, we weren't looking at shit. Greg was afraid to say that by himself. That's what that was.
I love it. So, Greg, I want you to steer the ship this week because I was up at 5 and I'm tired. Yeah, I know you get up at 3, whatever. But I'm going to let you steer the ship and talk about what one of our loyal listeners and friends out of Texas has provided for us for this episode.
So Derek was kind enough to reach out and send us some cigars that he would like us to try. So he sent a Lancero for me. Larry's got the sheet here, so you want to help me out there, Larry?
No, I was waiting. Yes, a Lancero for Greg, a Toro for both Scott and I, and a short Corona for the gorilla. So, did everybody look up their cigars, or are they just kind of winging it?
I got mine up.
I got mine.
Scott?
I've got the information, but I am going to smoke this with no assumptions whatsoever.
All right.
In order to taste, enjoy, and give you good people an honest, fresh review.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Yes, and Greg's the hoity-toity one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say right now, Derek, man, you hit the nail on the head for me with this one. These cigars are from Rojas. It's Noel Rojas cigars. I believe they're based out of Miami.
Correct.
I got the Statement, which is a dark Mexican San Andreas wrapper. And if you don't think there's a difference between dark San Andreas and standard, there are a variety depending on what they how they age them and stuff. And the darker ones tend to be a little bit more oily. This is a very dark San Andreas wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler, and like I said, it is a Toro at 4x46. I lit this up while we were getting set up and started, so I've been puffing on it for a minute. This is an excellent Maduro. Excellent. Espresso, coffee-ish, kind of toffee. Not really any... I don't get really the peppery of some of the Maduros, and it's not a punch you in your face. It's a really good flavor, nice steady draw. We're doing this with some Scotch today. We got some Glenlivet, but this would be a great coffee cigar. Would be awesome with a cup of coffee. Really happy with this one. Thank you so much, Derek. This is really nice.
Right on. So, big thank you to Derek out there in Texas. I am smoking the Los Tejanos. It's Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and the binder is Nicaraguan Criollo. Did that work for you, Greg?
Much better.
Thank you.
He can be taught, folks.
Wow. With a Nicaraguan filler. If you listen to the show for any period of time, you know that Nicaraguan is my go-to. Great flavor. It's a savory. It's not sweet at all. Excellent draw. Fine cigar thus far. I just did an initial light. I waited until the show started so that I could light this up and give you initial impressions. Because that's what I do. Greg.
Fuck us then. Audience, the rest of us didn't, and I don't want to speak for the other two, but I don't think we give a shit.
Fucking Gorilla's fired up today, isn't he?
No shit.
Give him an inch.
What the fuck did you put in your bananas today there, Gorilla?
He didn't have any bananas. He wants food. Didn't you hear at the beginning?
Yeah. Give him an inch, takes 5 inches. Give him a foot, takes 5 feet. Give him a rope, thinks he's a cowboy. There we go.
Nice.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm just curious. What is on the menu for this evening, Gorilla?
Fuck if I know. Whatever's on sale.
What, no Taco Bell?
Nah.
Shitter's full.
The poor man's colon blow. Why not?
You kidding?
Don't start me on this.
Say you kidding, man? I've seen how this kid eats.
Y'all fuckers with weak gut bacteria can't handle Taco Bell.
I love it. It's one of my favorites. So, Gorilla, what fine cigar did you get?
I got the short Corona Rojas Street Tacos Barbacoa, Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. I did not look up any of the additional notes other than this was slated to come out in 2020, got delayed until March of 2021 because of everyone's favorite holiday season, pandemic. And the MSRP is $7.50 to $8.50 anywhere except the great state of California, I'm assuming. But
And a few others, but yeah.
But initially, really enjoying it. Like toasted wood is kind of the best way I could describe it. Not quite campfire, but that warm kind of wood notes and a little peppery. I'm enjoying it.
You know, our friend Sam over at Just the Tip over in Pittsburgh, that's one of the ones that on a call that he and I were talking about, it's one of the ones that he recommended we try. So I'm glad we're finally getting one on the show.
No,
Thank you, Derek.
So far, so good. I will have more notes as we get further into it. But yeah, so far, Derek is, I think, 3 for 4. So, Greg?
Oh, he's 4 for 4 because, he sent me the Blue Bonnets Lancero from Rojas. And everybody knows Lancero's my favorite size. That intense flavor is better. The initial light up, it's very smooth, very creamy. It does have some nice little toasted notes to it, a little bit of a coffee. I think, as Larry said, this cigar with a cup of coffee would be great. This cigar with a good tea would be good too. So it really works out. I got to laugh, though. You know, I did look up the tasting notes that have been put out, and some of them I just don't get. A couple of them are there. There's a little bit of pepper. It'll typically will get more intense as we go. The creamy note, but, waffle cone, leather, baking spice, and nuts. This does not remind me of a pecan pie.
It cracks me up on some of these, some of this stuff they put out. because the quick note that I read on this said that on the initial light you were going to get a punch of pepper. I got no pepper hardly at all from this. This pepper would have been the last thing I would have said if I hadn't looked this up. So now I'm like trying to find some pepper in it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's got a really smooth, rich flavor to it. I just didn't get any pepper. Sorry,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's the hard part too, and I don't know how many listeners will equate to this. I know Scott and Larry and us being cooks. There's a big difference between ground black pepper and white pepper that you get. I tend to use more white pepper when I'm doing soups and things where I want there to be a little subtlety there, but not a pepper punch to it like regular ground pepper.
White power.
Pepper. Don't go hating now, Mr. White Shirt.
Well, what's wrong with black pepper? Why are you ignoring the black pepper?
Sometimes I
the
don't.
black pepper's been through enough. Why are you ignoring it?
Much like you, there are times when I don't want it getting punched in the face.
Hey, man, that's the FCC calling.
Uh-oh.
Telling you to calm
I was
the
going
hell
to say
down.
the NAACP, but all right.
Wrong letters.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Gorilla. It's spot on 4 for 4. This hits my palate absolutely perfectly, and it's a great stick. And I do know that I have seen the Rojas brand in a local brick and mortar for us. Local, knock on wood, it's an hour away, but Stogie's in Lodi typically carries them in their humidor, so it's something at least we can get a hold of. And definitely a few more to buy. Was that me? No, it wasn't me.
No, that was me.
Ah.
Who is
And
it?
speaking of brick and mortars, that was Ron from TR.
But
Sorry, I didn't kill my phone. I will do that now.
so I found something, and don't think we're done, Derek. We'll be back to the cigars in a bit. I found something. A coworker of mine said, "Hey, I found something. I bought one. I think you'll like it for when you're sitting outside smoking this time of year." And I went, "Okay, you have my attention." Because Larry, you smoke inside, right?
In and out.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I know you smoke mostly on the patio, once in a while in the office.
Or in the studio.
I don't smoke inside my house because it's not my house, but nonetheless, I usually smoke out in the garage or in the backyard with a space heater and a blanket over that space heater to try and stay warm. So my coworker's like, "Have you seen these battery-powered heated vests?" And I'm like, "You mean the ones for motorcycles?" They're like, "No, these are for hunting." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm all in." It got delivered today. So it has a little battery pack in 3 settings: warm, medium, and roasting your rear end.
Initially I wanted to laugh, but then I thought about it. They got
a point there, don't they?
Dude,
yeah.
you can laugh at me all day long. If I'm the one that's warm in the morning and you're the one running around freezing your ass off, you can laugh at me all the fuck you want. I don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, I was about to, but then rethought of it, and because I'm self-aware, I said, "Hey,
If you're interested, I'll send you the link. You can look at these too. They're not
horrible.
that bad.
Do they have them in something other than camo?
Yes, they do. They're not in camo, actually. The one I got was black, but, it comes in Omar the Tent Maker for me. And hey, I mean, for those of you that sit outside, especially you poor folks that are on the, the western side or the eastern side of the Sierras where it gets damned cold this time of year, it's not a bad idea. A heated vest, it'll get you through a cigar, maybe 2 on a charge. They say it'll go about 6 hours, and I think I paid $89 on Amazon for mine.
is it a lithium battery or it's like
Yes,
a good old
it's a
D-cell?
rechargeable lithium battery.
Well, all right.
So, it was here I thought I was going to get a ration of shit, but okay. I'm like, this thing, because you guys know, in the wintertime, we freeze. Even California standards, it's cold.
See, don't you feel bad right now?
No, not really. No, not really. Because that's normally the way it would be. But, it's just, because I don't know if you're following a lot of the Facebook forums, but people are starting to bring out their winter smoking things, and some of them are freaking amazing. You know, you got guys in the Midwest or the New England area up there. They've got like ice fishing shacks, little pop-up ice fishing things with the space heater. And it's amazing what they do to enjoy the cigars through the winter.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. A couple of things.
Please.
Number one, if it's so goddamn cold that you can drive a truck out onto a lake and pull in a shed behind you, that's too goddamn cold. I'm sorry. Number two, who in the hell thinks it's a good idea to light a fucking fire, space heater, wood stove, anything else, inside said shack on the ice? That just doesn't seem like, you know, I mean, granted, I don't know much about this, you know, because I'm a warm weather, you know, migration type of bird myself, but that just don't seem like a good idea to me.
If you're out in the Midwest, please feel free to comment at LoomisCigarCartel.com.
Yeah, you know, we got any Yoopers out there, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, you know, them Wisconsin boys, anything like that? Green Bay, something, you know.
St. Louis.
Reach out to us.
I'm just deciding what clip of grumpy old men to cut in during this conversation.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good thought there. But no, it's interesting what we do to enjoy our hobby through the wintertime.
Yeah.
You know, as Gorilla put it, Christmas is upon us.
Indeed.
Do you have all your gifts yet? I don't. So if you needed a last minute gift, you know, it's a topic that we kind of touch on every year, and it benefits this year. Yeah. So last minute gifts for the cigar smoker. There's the easy and obvious ones. Cigars. If you know what they like, or if you don't know what they like, get them something new. But anything else you guys would, you know, venture to think of, like a heated vest?
Yeah, that's kind of
clever.
That's kind of out of the normal range, but yeah, that's kind of cool. The something I've picked up more of in the last year or so, because I have a buddy now that has an estate sale business. So I've come up with a lot of vintage cigar type swag through him. Antique shops, stuff like that, old ashtrays, old cigar boxes that, you know, the cigars aren't made anymore. Stuff like that for, you know, for a cigar enthusiast is pretty cool. You pay attention when you're looking around. I've picked up 2 ashtrays over the last year or two that were marked as candy dishes. That's what they said they were.
I remember that.
Crystal ashtray, you know, that's about 7-inch round that weighs like 3 pounds. You get that for $5 because they didn't you know, if they knew it was an ashtray, it'd be $25, but it's a crystal candy dish, so it was $5. That kind of stuff's neat, and it's, you know, it's not something that you necessarily find, you know, on Amazon or through Cigar International or whatever, you know, I mean, those aren't bad places to look, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of cool to get out and, you know, do a little searching for that kind of stuff too, if you've got a cigar aficionado in your on your gift list. And, you know, always cutters, you know, lighters, stuff like that, but, you know, you kind of have to know what you're looking for on that, because there's good stuff, there's not so good stuff. There's good stuff that's super expensive, and there's not so good stuff that's super expensive too. So, you know, that's a little more difficult if you're not kind of in the cigar know, so to speak.
Actually, I'd say this much. You stole my thunder a little bit when I said the standard. No problem, because it's obvious. I mean, if you're at a loss, the standard cutters and lighters, because I can tell you right now, no cigar smoker just has one cutter, one lighter. We have several. And if you see like a novelty lighter, like, I mean, you have, say, just for lack of imagination, I'm staring at one, you know, get like a miniature beaver and you punch its nose and the fire comes out of its ass. I mean, just novelty lighters and crazy shit like that. Unique stuff that you'll find, like a donkey or, you know, whatever. Or maybe like a miniature Greg, smack the back of its head, fire comes out its nose, lights your cigar, and you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you're reminding me. You remember when TR Ron was looking at that countertop old like department store lighter?
Yeah, that was Eric Alfred's.
Wow, that was fucking cool. I just remember that. I think I still have pictures of it. I'll have to find it.
Yeah, soft flame lighter. You remember that box?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do not.
Scott,
Wasn't
don't
it?
kill
Wasn't
me.
it an electro-fired one?
I think so. I think that was what was the problem. You were having trouble because you have to time that little spark to hit right as you pull the wick out.
Yeah.
But don't hate me. You know where the first time I ever saw one of those and was fascinated by it was? It's a Wonderful Life. I wish I had $1 million. Hot dog, because if the flame lights, your wish comes true. They're made to every time.
I remember that. I thought that was a woodchuck.
Maybe, but I'll have to look. But it was one of those little pop out soft flame cigar lighters. Mm-hmm. One of the gifts, cigar themed gifts I got, was it last year or a year before? I can't remember now. My brother and his wife got me. They found a guy when they were up with her family in Truckee, Tahoe area. They found a guy making, little wood gifts, and they got me a little pine 2-slot ashtray that's still on my desk over there at the
Gorilla enclosure.
Yeah, the gorilla enclosure next door. But that's kind of cool because one, it was super simple. I think the guy was selling it for, maybe $10, but it was handmade. And some people would see this as a detriment, but I kind of like it. If you leave your cigar in, it'll kind of singe where the end of your cigar is near, but that just kind of makes it unique to you, kind of where, the little burn patterns develop and it ages it a little bit. I like it. So even simple gifts like that, if you spot one.
Now, and it's live edge, too. It's got, like, bark on one side of it.
It's not perfectly cleaned up. It's not perfectly clean cut. It's rounded, so he just sliced off the side of a log and hollowed out a bowl in it. It's got a little bit of a spot where you can tell the bark got chipped off. It doesn't have any rough bark still on it, but it's definitely not pristinely cleaned up. I think it was just mineral oiled and then varnished.
Yep.
Well, a lot of the times too, one of the things I like to do, this is to our local area, which I'm sure everybody in their different listening areas has stuff like this too, but Apple Hill for us, you go up to the crap fairs. Yes, I said crap, C-R-A-P, that they have alongside those. High Hill Ranch up there has a big one, and you never know what you're going to find up there. Last year there was a guy up there that made metal signs, and I'm like, hey, how hard would it be to make a metal ashtray in this kind of style? And he goes, not hard. Here's my card. Give me a call. And, you can find, we're talking last minute, but you can also, if you plan ahead, you can also find, makers, be it through Etsy, because Scott had Etsy up here a minute ago, or something like that, or at your local craft fairs, that you can get something really cool handmade for somebody too if you want.
And like Greg alluded to, for every 10, random person, making kind of mid-tier product at those craft fairs, you will find the expert woodworker, the expert leather worker. I know that up in Colfax, there's a guy that does custom knives and custom leather work. That his shit's expensive because he does it on his free time and has to source all his materials. But it's worth, some of the pieces of his I've seen at places are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I'll throw out there, and I think we need to make a pilgrimage down there just because it's a fun place to walk around. Your town probably has one like this, listener. And we have the Antique Trove in Roseville.
Yeah.
That is, again, it's diamonds in the rough, but it's a cool spot to walk around and find old advertisements, old ashtrays. Again, with some luck you will, but yeah.
And one of my favorite things, like the Antique Trove, stuff like that, is a lot of times you can find vintage DuPont lighters and they don't know what they have. And it's cheap. And DuPont lighters are not cheap by any means.
Yep. Yeah, some cool stuff to be had. Just look around, give it a shot and see what you can find. If you got a cigar smoker on your Christmas list, there's a ton of stuff out there.
Then there's, of course, the old standby alcohol. You don't even have to go in the cigar realm. You go to some place like a Total Wine, a Bevmo. Just skip the cigars. Go over and get them a nice bottle of scotch. Maybe some Tullamore Dew. Some whiskey, Irish whiskey. Whatever they enjoy.
Larry, does it sound like he's hinting more than he is talking?
Have you seen my bar?
Oh, yes.
What the fuck am I
I
heading
have seen
for?
your bar, and it's a cry for help. I said that in your home on Thanksgiving, and I'm not ashamed.
Here's the thing. You can go that route, the serious, the classy, the antique cigar route as a gift. I want to know from the three of you, funny shit. Just funny as, novelty, crazy, nuts, whatever, as far as a cigar gift. It can be fictional, it can be real. Your imagination runs amok. Talk to me.
I think the best one was Craig got Dad one for Christmas a couple years back. And it says, never trust an old man that smokes cigars. And it was a shirt.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I liked it.
Talk to me, Gorilla.
I'm gonna go outside the realm of cigars a little bit. I like, this is something, and I'll be honest, I bought this for myself because I saw it and I'm like, I just need to get it. I like gifts that are, to the untrained eye, just not much of anything, but if you know, you know. And the one I'm thinking of is I got myself a framed poster in my kitchen when I was living in Colfax that was an olive oil company's logo, a very old style olive oil company logo.
I know this.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it was. Now I'm forgetting the olive.
Genco.
Yeah, it was Genco Pura olive oil, Corleone, Sicily, from our family to yours. I'm not going to explain it any further, but it's gifts like that I like, where it's like,
Do you need to?
hey, there are some people out there that
A year and a half ago, yes, he would have.
yeah, you have
Now I understand.
But like I like little gifts like that, and that kind of fell under the concept that one of my mom's friends, Terry, has for buying gifts that I really like. If you get a gift from this lady, Terry, who is just ridiculous human being, but
Nut job.
but her whole gift,
Wow.
her whole gift buying thing is, you might get a gift from her in June for no reason, but it's because she saw something and she went, that is Larry, or that is Scott, or that is Anthony, or that is, she saw something. She didn't get you something just because she wanted to get you something. She saw something that was so you that she couldn't not get it for
That
you.
is very
Yeah,
sweet.
and she didn't get a gift because she had traveled somewhere. You know,
Yeah, she
so
didn't.
it's
She
not-
didn't get you a New Orleans mug that said Larry on it just because she wanted to get Larry
Yeah,
something
well,
nice.
because she was in New Orleans.
Right.
She was down. She was somewhere. Could have been at the Five and Dime 2 blocks over from her house, or it could be 2 continents away. If she sees something that she feels is uniquely you, you're going to get a box in the mail. That's just how it works.
That's the kind of gifts I like, where you found something that's so perfect for the person you're getting it for. And on
you
that
go.
note, it doesn't have to even be cigar related. And it can be goofy. Like if someone had gotten me the Godfather olive oil thing, I would have been like, you get me. You got it.
Well, and think about, this was back before we had video. Mr. Pork Rub shirt
Yes.
with the Pornhub colors.
Yes.
The same thing. But see, that's the problem with the four of us. Because Larry said this many shows ago. It's very hard for us to gift things to each other, because if we see something that we know works for the other person, we buy it and give it to them anyway.
Yeah, it makes it a little difficult, but you know, it is
Sure.
what it is.
But so get creative is, I think, the message.
Can I ask an additional question?
Yes, by all
Best
means.
way.
Best cigar related gift you were given. Funny or unfunny?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've gotten some cool shit over the years.
Why don't we hold that,
Table it.
and we'll come back to that
For the Crimis?
for the Crimis episode.
Yeah, because I have to
And
think
give us
about
some-
that.
Yeah, give us some
Yeah.
time to
So,
think about
so
that.
audience, since that records in a week or so, reach out to us, info@lumicigarcartel.com. Add in, tell us what's the best cigar related gift you've ever gotten, so we can talk about that with you on the next program.
Hold on. And we also have to do, because if you have a best, we have yin and yang.
What's
the
the
worst? I want to hear the worst one you've ever received.
Or given.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Why not? That'd be fun.
Yeah. Daddy like.
Okay. So I got some news for you all.
Spit it out, homebox.
Some new cigars have come on the market recently, and one of them I am slightly excited to get to. I know Scott's not smoked this brand yet, but I have, and Larry probably has too because it was in one of our bags. West Tampa Cigar Company came out on the market in 2002.
Okay.
Or 2001, I can't remember which, but 2002 is when I saw them at the show. They produce a really great product. They've got several good lines out. They're coming out with their new Bocce Boulevard. It's a really nice cigar. I haven't got to smoke it yet because I have to find it. 500 boxes per year. Retail price for the Gigante 6x60 right in Larry's alley is $12.99.
So $54.80 here. But
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's a great looking little cigar. It's a beautiful one. Rick Rodriguez, which is the master blender and co-owner of Cigars, says for him, cigars are personal. The vision of naming our company West Tampa was created the opportunity to celebrate the rich cigar-making history of Tampa, create awareness of its vibrant and electric presence, and be part of shaping its bright future. The Bocce cigar was to highlight that one. It's a really nice one. That's coming out. Bear with me while I go back and forth in my emails.
While you're looking
go
at
for
that, just a slight mention. I was just perusing the internet one evening. No, it wasn't Pornhub. It wasn't conspiracytheorist.com. I was in search. I've made this my mission now. In the search for Balmorals.
Ah.
And here's the weird thing. And maybe I just didn't pay attention to this and didn't know it. But of course, you're not going to get them in the United States at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But Europe, there's a couple of places online in Europe that sells Balmorals. A box here, a box there, here a box, there a box, everywhere box.
How bad is it?
I don't know because the unit of money it was, but I don't care. I'm kind of like, here, take my money.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is they don't ship to the United States. That's the weird thing. It's like, wait a minute. I have folding green money or plastic money, whatever. But, yeah, I tried to order some, and I was like, there's nothing here for the United States of America. What the fuck? I got to find that place in Switzerland. I bet you they do it.
Could be. Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite cigar company?
Placencia.
Yes.
Aside from Illusion, of course.
Well, yes, there's the Illusion is local for us, but
Right.
two new cigars that come out from Placencia. We did not get to these back last two recordings, but Placencia has announced that the Thelma Fuerte Colorado Claro Robusto No. 2, that's that beautiful green box one.
Yay.
It was released. It was displayed at PCA 2023, which took place in Las Vegas in July. It's now shipping to stores at your fine Placencia dealer. CJ's up in El Dorado Hills is a Placencia dealer.
Yeah, that one and the one over by Expo. They're also,
Cigar Club.
yeah, Cigar Club. They're also a Placencia dealer.
Yep.
So I am going to make my way there because I remember looking at that article going, I have to make a trip there.
Also, the Koshika 151 is now shipping. That's the replacement for the 141 that
Yes.
they just discontinued. I really want to try that one because the 141 was a beautiful, if I remember right, slightly maduroed cigar, and it was one of my favorites to get when we went to Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
So they're establishing that new one. You know, it's coming out. It's in there. The one thing, this one's a bit late because Pat obviously was on the last program, but Pat's releasing his podcast, Pat's Peeps. If you like our show, let me introduce you to our friend Pat Walsh. See the previous episode, 104, which is called...
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Wow, great preparation,
Great
guys.
preparation there. So, you know, Pat is a local radio host here in town. He does the Pat Walsh Show on iHeartRadio. Also, 1530 KFBK, 1530 AM and
93.1.
93.1 FM. If you want to check out his program and you are not in our general radio broadcast area, please download the iHeartRadio app on your fine device. Listen to the Pat Walsh Show. And, oh, by the way, you can also listen to our podcast on that same iHeartRadio app.
All those links I will put in this episode. They're also in the previous episode, which is episode 104, Conspiracy Theories and Travel Tales with Pat Walsh.
Yes. So, there's more cigar news that will come forth as it leads. We're kind of in a quieter period because a lot of the factories will shut down during the Christmas time. They usually shut down the month of December and don't pick up till mid-January again to get through the holidays. So things are a bit slower right now. But hey, there's a lot of fun stuff coming out and has come out and is coming out, and get out there and explore. The biggest thing I can tell you is start trying them.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
as we approach halfway through here, gents, let's circle back around to Derek's shipment here. Larry?
Great Maduro. Great. Espresso, kind of caramely toffee, just really, really smooth. It's going real well with the Scotch, but like I said earlier, a nice dark coffee would be excellent with this. Yeah, thank you again, Derek. You really hit the nail on the head with this one for me.
Mr. Robbins?
Savory and woodsy. The caramel notes from the Glenlivet really complements the cigar. Well constructed. I'm getting a lot of smoke from this, and if anyone's heard anything as far as my likes of a cigar, I like something where I can do a nice, easy draw and get a lot of smoke, a lot of taste, a lot of flavor. And for this one, coffee, it will work. I mean, shit, I'll drink anything with a cigar, but I'm thinking this is definitely a Scotch cigar.
Yeah. How you doing over there? Gorilla.
So far, so good. It's mellowed out a little bit. It's a lighter cigar, which is good considering I haven't eaten recently. But despite that, still woody, little bit of white pepper, and something else that I can't put my finger on it. But there's something else. I almost want to say like an orange peel-ish, but not strong. It's not like
Just kind of there in the background.
It's just kind of like, yeah.
That's
like someone like mom's doing her orange peels in the hot water on the stoves.
Yeah.
Like it's just back there.
There's something in the background on this one too. More fruity than I would say citrusy, but yeah, it's not in your face. It's not overpowering. It's just kind of got that kind of lingers there a minute. Little farther into this, starting to get a little bit of that pepper, but once again, not the punch of pepper that they talked about in the review I looked at. But yeah, just so this sounds like we're 4 for 4 on these Rojas.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I do have to note something. You people. And I'm talking about you people. You people and your white fucking pepper. What the fuck is that all about?
I didn't say white pepper.
I ain't talking to you.
White pepper.
I'm not talking to
Motherfucker,
you.
I'm going to bring white pepper and black pepper. I'm going to make you taste both and tell me they're the same thing.
There you go.
Wakanda forever, motherfucker.
Wakanda's not a real place. Try again.
You fucking with a gorilla when he's hungry, man. I tried to tell y'all.
Apparently.
Oh, you're going to hell on that one, son.
Audience,
We need gorilla cam.
audience, over under bets. Was that a sound effect or was that the gorilla? We'll answer that question on the next episode.
Place your bets. Taking all cash. And so I made fun of I made fun of the waffle cone as one of the tasting notes. It's there, but not in the sweet way you think it is. So think of
How the fuck else is a waffle cone supposed to taste
Somebody
like?
crushed it up,
patience.
shoved it up your ass. I mean, what are you talking about here?
just listen for a minute here, okay?
I'm trying
You're making it fucking
really
hard.
hard.
Think about, the batter, like you and your freaking waffle porn yesterday. So
You're gonna have to explain.
So
Yeah,
Scott,
please explain that.
Do not Google.
Please don't.
So Scott's posting pictures yesterday and the day before of dinner on Saturday night, which was a beautiful onion gravy pot roast that he made. It looked fantastic. It is
Pause.
fantastic.
Pause. I have to. Okay, because I'm saying this because I talk a lot of shit about the greengrocer. I put his store to the test on Saturday morning. I inquired with your butcher, hey, what's the difference between this and this? He said you should get this one because it's more tender and more tasty. I followed said advice.
Uh-oh.
I prepped dinner with said cut of beef. Now, I myself, fucking delightful. It was great. But Tiny Wife, she's like, I like the other one. This has too much fat. And I keep trying to tell her that fat is flavor. But she doesn't listen to me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But the short trip to Grandma's house
May I ask, what cut did you procure?
Oh, God. It wasn't the round. It was...
Was it a chuck?
Yes.
I agree with you, and I agree with the butcher. The chuck is a better cut versus the top round. It's just the way it is, and it is more flavor. It's also more tender. Sorry, Sue. He's right.
Yeah.
Chuck, a Bob, a Frank.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking that I'm thinking next weekend or the weekend after, perhaps. I think I will make a stew with that cut of beef.
Yes.
And,
Yes, you should.
Oh, that would be delightful with some carrots and potatoes and onions and celery, just sitting in the slow cooker for 8 bloody hours.
Don't forget a little fungus.
Little kava bean. What was that? No.
Kava bean. But mushrooms, yes.
Yes.
Various mushrooms.
Right. So Saturday night after this beautiful meal, and I've had his pot roast and onion gravy. It is to die for. He posts a picture of the inside of his microwave.
I like the laugh that Gorilla provided.
Scott,
That was good.
Seats 4.
yes, one of Scott's
Gorilla break.
One of Scott's best things that he does is a homemade waffle batter that takes overnight to do because he does the yeast. It's wonderful stuff, especially when he fries chicken and we do fried chicken and waffles. It's amazing. So he's posting pictures. That's why I said waffle porn, folks. That was the long trip to Grandma's house on how to get here. But he's posting pictures of they're making waffles, and it's just like, you son of a bitch. And here I am with an Eggo.
I'm just assuming that the next time he posts the picture of the waffle batter the night before, that is the invitation to show up at his house at 7 a.m.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Question,
But unfortunately, you have to get past the old man, and that may not be pleasant.
question for you.
Fire away.
What would the possibility of a fried chicken waffle taco? Now, hear me out.
No, I'm listening. No, I'm listening.
Take your waffle batter so that you have a larger, thinner, tortilla-sized waffle, some boneless, skinless chicken breast, fried, kind of like a chicken strip, if you would,
I'm fascinated.
and roll that up in your waffle taco.
With some good maple syrup.
Oh,
Waffle-rito. I'm thinking of
Waffle-rito.
Because I have 2 waffle irons. I have the Belgian waffle maker, and then I have the square one. It's a Belgian waffle maker too, but put it in that flat, 4 quarters. Cook that son of a bitch up, and as you said, fried chicken tenders. And I'm not talking about just throwing some flour on some chicken and throwing it in the deep fryer, because I have a deep fryer too. But you soak that son of a bitch in buttermilk for about half a day. Then you dip it in seasoned egg, roll it in flour.
Look at the gorilla, man.
And then you let it sit for about 20 minutes. Heat up your grease. And in this case, I'm thinking lard. You're using old school fucking lard. Not no canola oil, no pussy ass, fruity ass oil. We talking lard. Drop that shit in your basket in some lard. Fry that son of a bitch up. Bring it out. You lay it over, and then you just roll it. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I fucked up. You lay your chicken out, and then I use my potatoes. I will cook my potatoes. I'll put a little line in a potato, then either molasses or some cane syrup. Just drop that in there, and then roll it up like a burrito, and Just set them out strategically and come what may.
Gorilla.
I'll look on its
Can
face.
you kindly send this podcast to Gordon Ramsay's publicist, please? I'd love to hear his reaction.
Hang on, I'm ordering food, so it's delivered here by the end of the recording.
Oh, nice.
Gorilla's done. I've heard you talk about food for the last 8 goddamn minutes. I'm about to stab someone.
So back to this long trip to Grandma's house. You know how...
You fucking ass!
I know. So
Oh, you did.
you know how you get to back to that waffle cone thing. You know how, like with your waffle batter, it's not the sweet, it's that rich, savory, buttery note that you get.
Okay.
What?
That's kind of what I get off of this stick. It's not a sweet, but I get that buttery batter kind of waffle note to it.
You have not been paying attention. Savory? My batter has sugar and vanilla in it.
Doesn't mean
and
your
it's
batter's
yeasty.
sweet. I love your waffles, just saying.
It don't sound like it.
Dude, I will homicide people for Scott's waffles.
I'm just saying the jury would have voted different.
Oh, and then before all this, before I even did that hunk of meat in the slow cooker, homemade biscuits that morning. I don't know what the fuck was up with me this weekend. I was telling Larry earlier. It's like, I just cooked all damn weekend. I don't know what it was.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, God, yeah. But
Then we're good.
I was just like, it's raining, and I just decided, because we were talking about it Friday night at dinner. I said, I think I'll do this tomorrow morning. Sue had no complaints.
I'm thinking a new podcast begins, a new video series. Today, on The French Chef, Mr. Robinson's take on Julia Child's classics. And do it just like Julia used to.
I do
Have a
not-
full bottle of wine in a half an hour period.
Go on. I'm going to let you field this one, Lawrence.
Here's a thought I think you should run with, Greg. If you don't think well, don't think much. Horrible fucking idea. Horrible.
Well, Scott doesn't do French cooking, so.
No, I do not. I'm more of the neighborhood of Martin Yang or Justin Wilson.
Graham Kerr.
Eh,
And if you don't know who Graham Kerr is, look it up.
Anja Mima.
Audience, what do you think the name of Scott's cooking show should be?
I can't wait for Black History Month.
That's what the name of it should be. Black History Month. You did it to yourself, fucker.
Damn you white people.
Now on the next episode of Cooking with Black History. That's what we're going to call you, History.
Why?
Hang on, let me adjust the website to Mr. History and replace the Scott Robinson.
No? No? You don't like that one, huh?
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, try again, Greg.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Well, at least we're consistent.
Well, I've run the gambit of all the stuff I had planned today, so
That's nice.
what else we got?
I can't figure out. Scott didn't light his cigar until we started recording. I lit my cigar easily 20 minutes ahead of his. And he is by far farther into that cigar than us.
I'm only halfway through my Lancetto.
Let
Gorilla,
me
you know,
allow me to explain, because there is method to my madness. You see, I have to be sure to smoke it to the point, because I believe in truth in advertising. So when the show is over and I say that the cigar is down to the nub, it is down to the nub, because I don't believe in lying to people.
I thought it was because you sucked more. And the gorilla jumps the gun. There we go. We're out of here, fuckers. Next.
So what other line of bullshit you going to feed us?
You know, you guys are really trying me, because if anybody has listened over the last 12 months, I made a pact. Actually, that would have been January, that I will not be a monster this Christmas season.
We're working on that, aren't we?
We're trying.
And no, not at all. I am grateful. I am happy. I have the Christmas spirit so long as I am not forced to watch any of the Lifetime Christmas specials.
That's because he's employed now.
Well, that too.
You can't make fun of him because he's unemployed and because he's employed. You
I
gotta-
know.
Yeah,
I know. We're in such a dilemma now.
You gotta pick a struggle, fucker. Jesus. I mean, come on.
You know what I did last week? I watched Elf.
Oh God, why?
I
You
watched.
beat
Why,
my
you-
mom.
What? Wait.
Why, you couldn't find the remote?
Yeah, really. What was the one that he hated last year?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, so
No, I'm going
so your dislike of It's a Wonderful Life equates to my dislike of Elf.
What?
I can't stand that movie. But
Weird-
unlike
weirdly
Scott,
enough, it's the
I'm not
only
a
Will
monster.
Will Ferrell movie my mom likes.
I'm even going to sit through It's a Wonderful Life.
Why?
I even saw Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That's one of my favorite ones. The
Say that like-
claymation one.
You say that like you've done something brave and heroic.
No, not at all.
The claymation one.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
my favorite.
Of course, with Burl Ives.
Was
Yes.
that when you sent us the picture of Yukon Cornelius?
Hell yeah. Dig that up so people
yeah.
understand.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's
It
funny.
was don't give him so much credit. It was a twofer. Right after that, he watched Bad Santa.
I did not.
or Violent Night.
You know what? I have not seen Silent Night, Deadly Night this season.
Ah.
I need to find that.
So that actually brings up an interesting question since we're kind of getting into the Christmas season here on the show.
Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I agree
Damn
entirely
right.
with you. But what's one of those that you watch every year? I know what it is in our house. There's two of them.
Well, White Christmas is usually playing at some point in the background during the season, at least once. The Santa Claus.
The Tim Allen Santa Claus
the Tim
movies.
Allen-
Those are great movies.
Those are usually around. At some point, it's not really necessarily a sit down and watch all the way
They're
through.
just on in the back.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
on.
White,
Yeah.
White
in the
Christmas,
background.
It's a Wonderful Life
Life.
is almost always on at least once. The one that I always forget that I enjoy so much is the and I'm gonna look up the actor because I can't think of it. Which version of Christmas Carol does Mom like? The 1936, the black and white 1936.
Yeah.
And I forget who plays Scrooge in that. I'll have to look it up, but that is quite possibly the best iteration of that story. Is let me look up the actor's name.
No. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And live Patrick Stewart.
Of course, we aren't counting the Muppets Christmas.
I was
Carol.
going to say the
That
Muppets one is great too. That's Michael.
Michael Caine.
That's Michael Caine.
Yeah.
But no, for me, there's two, and Mom's both of them. And this year it didn't air on TV, one of them, so we had to stream it. But Charlie Brown Christmas and the original Grinch. Love Jim Carrey, but not that. Not that one.
Fuck Jim Carrey.
The original
And
Grinch, the
fuck
cartoon
his
one.
version of the Grinch. Boris Karloff voice as the Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was.
He's a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Classics. And let me just say something that kind of pisses me off. And don't worry, I know what you guys are thinking.
No, you don't.
What the fuck is it that you can't watch a Charlie Brown Christmas on fucking regular TV? You got to have a GD account for some kind of pay-per-view for Charlie Brown's Christmas. Did we get taken over by the Chinese and I didn't know it?
Because it was the same thing with the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
It wasn't on TV either. You had to stream it. So yes.
There needs to be a revolt in this country.
Uh-oh, here we go.
That's the first thing I fix. In the People's Democratic Republic of Robinsonia, Christmas time, you do not have to pay money to see a Charlie Brown Christmas. Damn it.
Got your Christmas trees up yet?
Yes.
It's December. It's legal now.
Yep, my Christmas tree is up. We decorated the outside.
It had been a tradition for a long time in our household that we did not decorate until after the celebration of the birth of the gorilla, whose birthday is a week from today, by the way. Happy early birthday to you, gorilla.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were a December baby too.
Yeah, I lovingly like to tell people I was born exactly 2 weeks early on the 11th, with thank fucking Christ I was not born Christmas Eve.
Yeah, he was due Christmas Eve was his due date.
Grandma would have had a field day with that one.
Yeah.
The December 11th birthday is really shitty because depending on where it falls in December, like what day of the week, that's either right before or right as schools are getting out for Christmas. So, and don't laugh, Scott. This is tragic childhood drama I'm bringing up. I need you to be respectful. I think after the Round Table Pizza birthday in Lincoln, where like 3 of the 20 kids invited were able to show up, not because they didn't want to be there, because they were traveling for Christmas and shit. We started doing something where it was pick 1 or 2 of your friends, and we'll go do something that's a little more, I don't want to say extravagant, but a little more time involved, like go bowling or something, as opposed to try to organize a party. And those were actually more fun in a sense.
Yeah.
Because you could pit, instead of trying to entertain, your 2 best friends and another 10 people that you're like, they sat near me in classes here, I guess they get an invitation. It was more pick your 2 best friends and go do something actually fun and, without all the bullshit associated with it.
Well, unless they were traveling.
Okay.
It's easier to plan something around the vacation schedule of 2 or 3 kids than it is 20. So
I
Good
kind
point.
of empathize. Mine is in 2 days.
Oh.
Mine's Thursday.
Oh.
A day that will live in infamy.
That's an easy one to remember. December 7th. So, yeah.
If they'd have waited a year, it would have been 40 years.
Gross. Speaking of which, this will happen pre this episode being heard, but the Thursday before this would have been December 11th. Please pause and remember Pearl Harbor. I am obligated to say that.
Is Lou still with us?
Lou is still with us. For those who may not know, I have had the pleasure of meeting who is now the last survivor of the USS Arizona. He lives just up the road in Grass Valley. He is 102 years, and by the time you hear this, 3 months old. You're allowed to start counting months when you're over 100.
No shit.
Still all there.
oh yeah, sharp as a tack.
I hope I'm half as coherent at half his age.
Don't sell yourself short, kid. You're half as coherent now.
Exactly. But
God, that was
unfortunately,
boy, he teed that one up, didn't he?
Yeah,
unfortunately, there was kind of is he going to go back to Pearl or not this year? On the advice of his doctors, he is not going to make the 8-hour plane ride and all the pomp and circumstance that goes along with him being in Pearl. As much as he wants to, it's just the better choice.
Yeah.
He's not in bad health. It's just at 102.
Why stress?
Why stress? So, yeah. Ethan and I did a special bonus. We watched Tora Tora Tora, and we're gonna do a little bonus episode of the MASH podcast that comes out on December 7th. But he pulled up the terrifying statistic of we have about 110,000 World War II vets left, an estimate, and we're losing 100 a day. So 2.5 years at the outset.
Wow.
That is, I was telling Ethan that growing up, World War I was essentially ancient history because I couldn't meet a World War I vet. They didn't exist. It is scary to me to think of a world where that history, World War II history, will now all of a sudden become only in record, not in
Real life.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't like it.
Yep.
Unfortunately, time always moves.
Yep.
And none of us are immortal.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
That's the next episode.
And I was fucking thought as Captain Bring Down.
By the
Holy
way,
shit.
for those of you that don't enjoy Christmas Eve with your family, spend it with us. We'll be releasing a podcast live on Christmas Eve.
Or for those of you that do enjoy Christmas Eve with your family, come listen to us live. You're probably tired of it. To rotate back, I believe it's the 1938 version of A Christmas Carol that Mom likes. I'm not 100% on that, but it's the Reginald Owen version. It's really good. And if I'm wrong on that, I will correct it on screen now.
Okie dokie. Well, I think it's about that time.
The Alistair, I knew that name
am
didn't sound
holding.
right. It's the Alistair Sim version of Christmas Carol. I'll put the correct date on there, but yeah, it's Alistair Sims. Go watch it. Go watch it. It's good.
That's cool.
Are we all set?
Gorilla, take me home. Now, usually I say something about the scotch glass being empty, but it's a sin to sit here and try to Chuck Glenlivet, so I'm not going to. So we're just going to say the cigar is pretty close to the nub, working on the scotch glass, but it'll be empty in a minute. So I think it's about that time. On behalf of everybody here at Beyond the Humidor, the Gorilla, who's going to eat soon and calm down, Gregory, Lawrence, and myself, thank you for listening. Check us out at LumisCigarCartel.com. Sounded like a tongue twister. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram.
If you can find us.
Yeah, if you can find us, if we're not fucking shadow banned. See how I'm just kind of smoothing it out because we want that funky keyboard. I'm Scott Robinson, and on behalf of all of us here, thank you for listening. We are anxious to talk to you on the next episode. But until then,
Can I interrupt for a minute before you do the last part?
what's that?
Just want to again say, Derek from Texas,
Yes.
thank you for
Thank
the
you.
cigars.
Man.
Big thank you. That was good, and that was constructive. You can be taught.
No.
And there it is. Oh, I live for that now.
Remember, folks, he'll smoke the cigar down to the nub for the end of the show, but he won't chug the scotch. Think about that.
That's because he has good priorities.
Indeed. God, I've lost my train of thought because I've been going way too slow with this. So I'm just going to say, as I always say at the end, hey, I was riding a wave, man, and you fucked it up. Anyway, as I always say,
it was him that fucked it up. Jesus Christ.
as I always say at the end of all of these,
Fuck
good
off.
smoke.
Hurry up, man. We're almost out of music.
Yeah.
We're running out of runway. As I always say, good smoke, good drink, and good life. And fuck the three of you.
Ho, ho, ho.
And the glass is now empty. And it's almost the end. The end.